Prince Harry interviewed his father while he was editing the Today programme. He referred to father Prince Charles as Pa and said it was very nice to see him. The 33-year-old told the Prince of Wales that he picks his brain more than ever. His father joked that it was amazing his darling boy had been listening to him. Prince Charles today called Prince Harry his darling boy after his son told him he picks his brains more now than ever during a radio interview. The 33-year-old was guest editing Radio 4's Today programme and affectionately called his father Pa and thanked him for allowing him to interview him for the show. And during the 4-minute chat, the Prince of Wales said it was amazing that he had been listening to him regarding climate change. The pair started talking about the planet and the 69-year-old joked that people are finally waking up to his dodgy opinions about the environment. When asked by his son to pick one issue to focus on, Charles said over the years there have been a whole lot of things he has tried to focus on that he thought needed attention. He said, not everyone else did, but maybe now some years later they are beginning to realize that what I was trying to say may not have been as dodgy as they thought. The issue really which has to go on being focused on, big time I think, is this one around the whole issue of climate change. Which is now, whether we like it or not, is the biggest threat multiplier we face, because what is happening now is what I was dreading. Which is we are having to deal all the time with the symptoms that are springing up all around the world, and they are diverting us off down all these different channels to try and deal with ghastly conflicts and humanitarian and natural disasters, and goodness knows what else. But at the root of it all, much of it, is climate change, which is causing untold horrors in different parts of the world. When he started the interview, Prince Harry referred to his father as Pa and said it was very nice to see him. He later asked him, moving on, I know the two of us could end up talking about this for hours and hours and hours, of which we always do, but not with a microphone in front of us. But do you feel optimistic about the future, for the world that William, myself, your grandchildren and everyone else out there is going to inherit? His father replied, well, my dear boy, if I must say so, the fact you're saying this gives me enormous optimism. I haven't obviously put you off when banging on all these years. Because if you think that, that is really encouraging. What I've tried to do all these years is to make sure that I can ensure that you and that your children, my grandchildren, also everyone else's grandchildren, have a world fit to live in. Harry later told him, I totally see it and I totally understand it because of all these years of conversations that we've been having, and I do end up picking your brains more now than I ever have done. His father added, "Well, darling boy, it makes me very proud to think that you understand." Harry then joked, "And that I'm listening?" "Well, that's even more amazing," his father said. "It's the family she never had." Prince Harry tells Radio 4 listeners that Meghan Markle had a fantastic Christmas at Sandringham and the royals loved having her there. Prince Harry today told Radio 4 listeners that his fiancée Meghan Markle had a fantastic Christmas with the royals and said they are the family she never had. The 33-year-old was guest editing the Today program, and his interview with Barack Obama, the first since he left the Oval Office, was played live on air. He grilled the former president, who urged world leaders to use social media appropriately and warned it is distorting the public's understanding of complex issues. But the tables turned when the fifth in line to the throne was quizzed by presenter Sarah Montague at the end of the 3-hour show. She asked the prince about his engagement and Christmas with Miss Markle, and he replied, "It was fantastic, she really enjoyed it." He added that his family loved having the 36-year-old Suits actress with them in Sandringham, Norfolk, and said the royals are the family she has never had. Miss Markle's mother Doria Ragland, 61, and father Thomas Markle Sr., 73, divorced in 1987, and Mr. Markle Sr. has still not met his daughter's fiancé. But her half-sister has her elusive father will want to walk her down the aisle next year, and her nephew will reportedly gate-crash the ceremony if he isn't invited. And on Christmas Day, the engaged couple joined the Queen at Sandringham and were photographed walking with other royal family members to church. Harry also he had stayed with the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, who live in Anmer Hall in Norfolk, while visiting the Queen at her nearby Sandringham estate. Speaking about his fiancée, he said, "The family loved having her there. There's always that family part of Christmas, where there's always the work element there as well, and I think together we had an amazing time." From 6 a.m. grime to the wisdom of Dad, highlights of Harry's turn on the Today Chair. 6.10 m. He played Grime's song "Step Out of Bed" by the Ivy Crew, which was produced by Nottingham-based charity Community Recording Studios. The Prince has worked with the charity in the past. 7.30 m. Heavyweight boxing champion Anthony Joshua was specifically asked by Prince Harry to come on the show, and he spoke about being a role model and jokingly asked Harry if he needed a best man. 8 a.m. Prince Harry's interview with Barack Obama was played on air, and the former president urged world leaders to use social media with caution because it could distort the public's understanding of complex issues. .45 m. The 33-year-old interviewed his father, Prince Charles, and told him that he has been picking his brains more than ever before. The Prince of Wales warned that technology can't solve our relationship with nature. .55m, Prince Harry described his fantastic Christmas day with Meghan Markle after he was asked what the festive period was like by presenter Sarah Montague. The Prince later added that the royals acted like the family she never had. We had great fun staying with my brother and sister-in-law and running round with the kids. Christmas was fantastic. The presenter asked the Prince if there were any family traditions that had to be explained to Ms. Markle, and he replied, "Oh, plenty. I think we've got one of the biggest families that I know of, and every family is complex as well." No, look, she's done an absolutely amazing job. She's getting in there, and it's the family I suppose that she's never had. During the show, Harry interviewed his father, the Prince of Wales, and discussed his long-held interest in the environment and protecting the world's natural resources. Harry sounded a positive note about the future, and as I said, we're really looking forward to New Year and looking forward to 2018. Because, you know, I'm determined to make sure that myself and the young generation and everybody else, this pendulum is going to swing, and 2018 is going to be a fantastic year, and we all need to play our part. During his interview with Obama for the program, the former U.S. president warned that the irresponsible use of social media is distorting the public's understanding of complex issues and leading to the spread of misinformation. Mr. Obama highlighted the importance of communicating offline and taking time away from social media. Some have interpreted it as a dig at current President Donald Trump. He said, "The truth is that on the internet everything is simplified, and when you meet people face to face it turns out they are complicated." One of the things we want to do, I think, is as we're working with young people to build up platforms for social change. Make sure that they don't think that just sending out a hashtag in and of itself is bringing about change. It can be a powerful way to raise awareness, but then you have to get on the ground and actually do something. Prince Harry then joked about whether Mr. Obama had been invited to his wedding next May, when asked if he was on the guest list. Meet Harry's future in-laws. And the rest of Meghan's family. Meghan Markle is close to her free-spirited mother and her thoughtful, inspiring father. The actress has written lovingly of her relationship with both. But it is the star's extended family which has hit the headlines, with one newspaper describing it as a motley collection of individuals who, between them, have a long record of boozing, bust-ups and bankruptcies. From a gun crime arrest to a rant accusing the Suits actress of hypocrisy, Markle's step relations have already proved controversial so far. Here's a look at Prince Harry's future in-laws. Mother, Doria Ragland. Miss Markle has described her mother as a free-spirited clinical therapist. Writing on her lifestyle blog, she told how her mother took her to visit the slums of Jamaica and to see poverty in Mexico when she was just 10. "My mother raised me to be a global citizen, with eyes open to sometimes harsh realities," Miss Markle. Ms. Ragland, who is African American, met Miss Markle's father, Thomas Markle, on the set of the U.S. soap General Hospital, where he worked as a lighting director when she was a temp in the studio. Miss Markle wrote, "I like to think he was drawn to her sweet eyes and her afro, plus their shared love of antiques." They divorced when Miss Markle was 6. Although she lived with her mother in Los Angeles, Miss Markle also spent a great deal of time with her father. Ms. Ragland has worked at a day center for adults with memory loss and as a yoga therapist. Ms. Ragland, who filed for bankruptcy in 2002, has kept her daughter's counsel despite the press interest. She was mentioned in the Kensington Palace statement, which attacked the media over its treatment of Markle, saying that her mother was having to struggle past photographers in order to get to her front door. Ms. Ragland also joined her daughter and Harry to watch the Invictus Games closing ceremony in Toronto in September. Father, Thomas Wayne Markle. Thomas Markle is a former TV lighting director who worked on shows such as hit sitcom Married with Children and popular U.S. drama General Hospital. He won 2 Emmys for his team's work on General Hospital and was nominated for countless others. Miss Markle is his only child from his second marriage to Doria Ragland. He has 2 older children from his first marriage to Rosalind Markle. He lives a quiet life in Mexico and filed for bankruptcy in 2016 after reports he failed to pay his debts. Miss Markle is close to her father, who is of English and German descent, and has described him as hard-working and caring and believing in her grand dream of becoming an actress. She has paid tribute to the blood, sweat and tears this man, who came from so little in a small town of Pennsylvania, where Christmas stockings were filled with oranges, and dinners were potatoes and spam, invested in my future so that I could grow up to have so much. She added, "It's safe to say I have always been a daddy's girl. He taught me how to fish, to appreciate Busby Berkeley films, write thank you notes, and spend my weekends in Little Tokyo eating chicken teriyaki with vegetable tempura." She recalled how one Christmas he created a Barbie family for her when they were only sold in sets of white dolls or black dolls. Her new collection of dolls had a black mom doll, a white dad doll, and a child in each color. My dad had taken the sets apart and customized my family. When Markle was confronted with the tick box form to fill in at school about her ethnicity and found she did not fit into just one category, my dad said words that will stay with me forever: "Draw your own box." Half-sister, Samantha Grant, also known as Samantha Markle, describes herself as a writer, a mental health counselor and a blabbermouth. She is Miss Markle's half-sister from her father's first marriage. A one-time actress and model, she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2008 and uses a wheelchair. Based in Florida, she is 17 years older than Markle and sells jewelry to raise money to fund the feature films she writes. Twice divorced, she has 3 children, Ashley, Christopher and Noel. Like her father, she filed for bankruptcy and is estranged from her mother Rosalind, Thomas Markle's first wife, and brother Thomas Jr. Ms. Grant has been an outspoken critic of Miss Markle since news of her relationship with Harry broke, describing her in interviews as a shallow social climber and claiming she shunned her since making it in Hollywood. The royal family would be appalled by what she's done to her own family, she said. She said Markle had barely spoken to her. She was diagnosed with MS nearly a decade ago. She later maintained she never made the critical comments of her half-sibling. Ms. Grant claimed she raised Miss Markle for 12 years while she was growing up in California, but her ex-husband, Scott Rasmussen, disputed this. While she has described Markle as very beautiful and conservative, very real, very giving, she has also attacked her on for her lifestyle website The Tig, which Markle has since ended. "There is so much more to focus on in the world than shoes and handbags," she said, accusing Miss Markle of hypocrisy for presenting herself as a humanitarian activist. When Markle wrote an article for Time magazine about period poverty across the world for International Women's Day, Ms. Grant retorted, "But what did she donate to them to make real change come about? Money for toilets, maxi pads, or just a photo op?" As rumors Harry was engaged to Markle mounted, Ms. Grant, in a television interview with Good Morning Britain, denied there was a rift between her and the actress, describing her as absolutely lovely, very strong, very graceful and also very lively. She insisted she was not writing a slamming tell-all book, but confirmed the work was called The Diary of Princess Pushy's Sister. Half-brother, Thomas Markle Jr., 50, has been bankrupt once, divorced twice and faced trial on gun charges before the case was dropped. The father of 2 lives in Grants Pass, Oregon, and works as a window fitter. He was arrested in January 2017 for allegedly holding a gun to his girlfriend Darlene Blount's head during a drunken argument. Charged with unlawful use of a dangerous weapon and menacing domestic violence, he faced jail for up to 5 years if convicted. The charges were later dismissed. He apologized for his actions and said he was seeking help for his drinking problems. Mr. Markle Jr. is not thought to be in contact with his famous half-sister but has given interviews about her and shared family photos with the media. He claimed Harry had met his girlfriend's father Thomas, but older sister Samantha denied this, tweeting, "My father hates Tom Jr. and will not talk with him. The articles are BS. My dad has not met Harry." Thomas has 2 sons, Tyler and Thomas Markle III, with his ex-wife, Florence Tracy Dudley, whom he divorced in 2001. His second marriage, to Ilhans Rawa, ended in 2009. Father's first wife, Rosalind Markle. Rosalind Markle is Thomas Markle's first wife and mother to Samantha Grant and Thomas Jr. Rosalind has said of her estranged daughter, "Everything she has said about Meghan is a lie." The 71-year-old lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and has been complimentary about Miss Markle. "Meghan is very pretty, very nice, very polished and very classy. I never hear anything but good about her from my son Thomas, Jr.," she said. She also has a younger son, Bobby Lucero. Harry said, "I don't know about that, we haven't even put the invite or the guest list together, who knows if he's going to be invited or not, I wouldn't want to ruin that surprise." The couple, who announced their engagement in November, spent Christmas with Duke and Duchess of Cambridge at Emer Hall on the Queen's Sandringham estate. They all enjoyed a low-key family Christmas together and later joined the rest of the royals for a church service and lunch on Christmas Day. Prince Harry was at the helm of the popular BBC radio show and was the guest editor from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. this morning. And he began the show by playing a grime track produced by Nottingham-based charity Community Recording Studios, which he has close ties to. "10 Things We Know About Harry After His 3 Hours in the Editor's Chair." 1. He has been converted to coffee. The Prince is not a big coffee drinker, but after getting up early for the Radio 4 show that starts broadcasting at 6 a.m., he confessed, "I now understand the point of coffee." Two. He uses another word for father. The Prince of Wales was called Pa by his son Harry when he began a radio interview with his father. 3. He enjoyed asking the questions. Harry described the experience of interviewing former U.S. President Barack Obama as fun. 4. He is a fan of White House action movies. Harry suggested to Mr. Obama he is a fan of the film White House Down starring Jamie Foxx. 5. Harry relished editing the Today program. The Prince was very hands-on in the production of Wednesday's Today program, according to the show's co-presenter Justin Webb. 6. No dramas at Christmas. Harry and fiancée Meghan Markle had a fantastic time with the Queen and his family over Christmas, said the Prince. 7. Wedding planning not finished. The wedding guest list for Harry and Meghan's royal nuptials on May 19 has yet to be compiled, said the Prince. 8. Charles is the go-to man. Harry told Charles he has been picking his brains more than ever before. 9. Harry is a fan of Suits. Despite admitting to never watching Suits before he met his fiancée, who starred in the show, Harry indicated he is a fan now to Obama. 10. He has a lot of relatives, compared to his friends. Harry said he has a large group of uncles, aunties and cousins. I think we've got one of the biggest families that I know of. That's quite urban for Radio 4. Prince Harry gets his edition of the Today program off to a surprising start with a grime song at 6:10 am. Prince Harry started his Radio 4 Today guest editing session by playing a grime song. The 33-year-old has taken the helm of the popular BBC radio show and will be the guest editor from 6 am to 9 am this morning. And he began the show by playing a track produced by Nottingham-based charity Community Recording Studios, which he has close ties to. The charity works with young people on preventing violence, and the song called Step Out of Bed by the Ivy Crew was played live on air. The station's flagship news show also includes an interview by the Prince of former U.S. President Barack Obama, who shares his memories of the day he left office and his hopes for his post-presidential life. The engagement comes after Harry stepped out with new fiancée Meghan Markle as the royals gathered in Sandringham for Christmas. The conversation with Obama features the former president talking about his plans to focus on cultivating the next generation of leadership through the Obama Foundation. Harry, who was recently at the inaugural summit of the Obama Foundation in Chicago, has forged a strong bond with the Obamas, through his work with servicemen and his trips to America. At this year's Invictus Games, Mr. Obama reportedly quizzed Harry on his romance with Meghan Markle as they watched the wheelchair basketball. The palace said the full interview will be made available as a podcast. Today finished at 9 am this morning. When Barack met Harry, Obama warns world leaders against using social media to sow division, but doesn't name Trump, and reveals his favorite royal is William. Former U.S. President Barack Obama warned against using social media in a divisive way during an interview with Prince Harry. Mr. Obama, 56, did not mention his successor in the White House by name, but many will see the comments as a thinly veiled rebuke aimed at Donald Trump. He was being questioned by Prink. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment your opinion, share this video and subscribe to my channel. New videos are uploaded every day.